Test one, two, test one, two. The levels. Test on this Friday night, February 20th. All right, I'm going to hold for 20, 30 seconds, and then we're going in. Hello. Good evening. I am Honky, and welcome to my world. I am a cornucopia of stuff. You just never know what you're going to get. But for this month, you know that you're going to get Black History Month profiles. Sometimes it's about historical figures, sometimes it's about concepts, sometimes it's about facts. Tonight, I am going to be perusing through an article that was written by Denise A. Smith, a contributor of the Century Foundation online magazine. She wrote a rather long piece, but I'm going to condense it for your listening pleasure in regards to the facts about HBCUs. Okay. For those of you who do not know, HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. Okay. When I was doing my applications and stuff like that, I actually did not know about HBCUs. And, you know, I would like to think that I was somebody who's very, very well informed. And I did the workshops, I did the college fair, I did the high school. It started with high school. I did a high school fair. They used to do a huge high school fair here in New York City. I don't know if they're still doing it, but when you were middle school, that you would go on a weekend and then you would see all the high schools and the programs and all that and how to apply to the high schools. So I did that. And then once I was in high school, as I was getting closer to my senior year, I did the whole college tours and go and apply, go and check them out and stay over there in the campus for a weekend. Like, they really went out to try to get us. I went to Oswego. I went to SUNY Purchase to check them out. I got on a bus to, it was Oswego. Yeah, Oswego. It was like a 13-hour ride for me to go and audition, because I was going in under the theater and acting program. So I imagine, after a 13-hour ride, right? And I was on a Greyhound by myself, might I add, because I always been very independent, and my parents did not understand what the hell college was about. Let me tell you, they was like, well, you went to high school for free. How can you, what do you mean we have to pay for college? Triple bomb on that. These people really thought that because I went to high school for free, then there should be a college or university that I should be able to go for free. Okay, so that's what I was dealing with. So after I got out of that bus. There was a Greyhound. It left me like in the middle of nowhere. I was staying in a hotel by the Greyhound bus, and there was a Red Lobster. I went and had me some lobster. And then when I checked in, I slept. And then I think an aunt drove to meet me and take me to the audition. She drove me to the audition. I auditioned the next day. I gave them everything, okay? In that audition room, I gave them everything, and they still did not choose me. Oswego said no. But SUNY Purchase said yes. SUNY Purchase said yes. I also applied to Northwestern University and Michigan State. So I did my little rounds, but I did not know anything about HBCUs. I didn't know there was a place where I, could have gotten, been with my people and had a different experience. I did end up going to a local college here in New York City, and so it was very diverse, very multicultural, and I really got, I got that experience. I didn't get the experience of staying in a dorm and school being your only priority. I stayed in my apartment, and I had to work and get to my classes on the train and leave my classes and go do a show and then come back to the school and finish my day and run between classes to audition downtown or rehearse for a new production and the whole nine. So everybody's journey is different, but let's go ahead and start getting into this article written by Denise A. Smith. And this is located in the Century Foundation's website. They're a nonprofit. And this is commentary on higher education. It starts with the fact on HBCUs, top 10 facts about historically black colleges and universities. Historically, black colleges and universities have played and continue to play an indispensable role in American higher education. Most HBCUs were founded in the years after the Civil War to provide black Americans with places where they could pursue a college education in a nation that still endures racial segregation in its institutions. Okay. While the Civil Rights Act of 1964, oh my God, the Civil Rights Act was just in 1964. Let that sink in. I'm not saying 1864, I'm saying 1964. 1964. Like my grandmother was like in her prime at that time. Like my mother was already here. This is not that many generations removed. This is not something that the 18th century, 17th century, where like it's so far long ago. This is 1964. It's 2026. Let that sink in. While the Civil Rights Act of 1964 outlaws such segregation, HBCUs still serve to provide black college students, many of whom are first-generation college attendees from low-income, low-wealth families, a place to pursue higher education in a welcoming environment that recognizes and honors the history, experience, and accomplishments of black Americans. Yet, despite the vital role of HBCUs, historically, they have been wrongfully underfunded since their inception. Thus, it is imperative to continually debunk the myths and misunderstandings about HBCUs to help policymakers, philanthropists, and the public understand why HBCUs are overperforming and yet at the same time underfunded and underappreciated. HBCUs are more relevant than ever. If a racial reckoning nationwide results in HBCUs receiving the investment they need and deserve, college equity and affordability will be advanced for the first generation, minority, and low-income students they serve. So let's get into the myths. Let's get into these myths, honey. Myth number 1, HBCUs are no longer needed. Fact, HBCUs continue to serve a higher population of low-income black students than other colleges and universities. HBCUs provide nearly twice as much college access to low-income students than other colleges and universities. Myth number 2, HBCUs discriminate against white students. That's the myth, and here's the fact. HBCUs are open to all students. Let me read a little bit about that. Overall, in 2020, about 76% of students enrolled at HBCUs were black, and 24% were not black. 11% are white, 8% are Latinx, and 2% are American Indian, Asian, Native Hawaiian, or multi-race. Howard University in uh, Howard University in urban Washington, D.C., sometimes called the Harvard of HBCUs, has a diverse student body with 67% black students and a third of its students from other racial backgrounds. And West Virginia State University, a small rural public HBCU, has a student body that is 61% white. Drop a bomb on that. In Austin, Texas, the HBCU Houston Tiltos University enrolls a student body where 1 in 4 students are from Latinx families. And here's the one beef I have with this article or this explanation. I wish, and this is a Latino man right here, I wish people, especially educated people, would stop perpetuating this garbage that Latino is a race. Latino is not a goddamn race. I mean, I learned that when I was like 14 years old in New York City. Latino is an ethnic group. Latino is a cultural background. Black is the race. So for her to break it down like this, and I understand that she's breaking it down like this because this is more than likely how the reports that the federal government, looks after and all of that, that's how they break it down. But in the whole scheme of things, a Latinx, Latino, that's not a fucking race. And this is coming from a Latino man. I digress. Let's get to myth number 3. Myth number 3, HBCUs provide an inferior education. Here's the fact. HBCUs provide a better educational experience for their students than comparable non-HBCUs. HBCUs have on an average a higher graduation rate than comparable non-HBCUs, 38% versus 32%, with similar proportions of black students enrolled. Myth number 4, HBCUs receive enough funding. Here's the fact. Since their inception, HBCUs have been shortchanged public funding. And it doesn't take a brain scientist, a chemist, or NASA astronomist to know that people under the administration of 47 are trying their hardest to take even more funding. But in this reckoning, they did not just do the HBCUs, Donna. They did even the Harvards, the Yales. Anything that had a little bit of sprinkle diversity in that, he tried to yank that ish off. Everything rooted in racism. For generations, public HBCUs have had to fight for equal funding, leading to years-long lawsuits in Maryland, Mississippi, Alabama, and South Carolina. Myth number 5, HBCUs are fiscally mismanaged. Here's the fact. HBCUs are a Best Buy costing 28% less on average than other colleges and universities. Myth number 6, HBCU students receive enough student aid due to Pell Grant. Drop a bomb on that lie. Here's the fact. HBCU students take on loan debt in greater numbers and in greater amounts than other students to finish college. And they do that because they're committed to the experience, but above that, to getting their degrees. When the Pell Grant program started nearly 50 years ago, the maximum Pell Grant covered most of the cost of attending a 4-year public college. Today, its purchasing power is at an all-time low. And take it from somebody who literally on December, I was able to finally pay back my college loan because guess what? My Pell Grants, weren't enough. And I went to a city university. I went to a CUNY university. Excellent education. I was in one of the senior CUNY schools, City of New York schools, colleges, right? But the Pell Grants didn't do much. The Pell Grants cover you the most the first and the second year, like the second semester. But after that, you have to really roll up your sleeves and start getting these loans that tie you in for years, if not decades, you know. And you see what 47 is trying to do. I was able to get some of my debt forgiven by Obama because, through different programs, you're able to, like, if you work in the community, if you're in a nonprofit, if you work in an educational setting for like 5 years, you're able to submit that and they forgive some of it. So I had like 10,000 of my college loans and student loans forgiven, but I still had some stuff trailing, some personal loans that I had to take to finish in a city university, Nearest 21, in a CUNY. I took loans for CUNY. Now, could you imagine these students that are in HBCUs, which are like private institutions and all of that? A mess, honey, a mess. Okay, let's go. Myth number 7. HBCU alumni giving is low. And I can tell you right there that is actually not true without even reading the fact. Because based on what I've seen, based on people who I grew up with, my cohort and co-workers that have gone to HBCUs, I've actually seen them be very involved. They've given back, they come back, they do talk, especially the people who became really successful, doctor, lawyers, public figures, and politicians, all of that. I grew up with people who became those things. I have a friend who became a brain surgeon, okay? The fact is, alumni giving at some HBCUs is relatively high despite the racial wealth gap. But it's not nearly enough to fill funding gaps. Okay? Myth number 8. Private HBCUs only enroll well-off black students. Here's the fact. Nearly half of students enroll at the top private HBCUs, such as Spelman College and Howard University, come from low-income families. And I do the claps because it's not a money grab, it's not a cash grab, it's not a come get your education and get bankrupt. We're going to have your mama and your daddy mortgage the house, the cars and all that so they could pay for this $100,000 a year education. That I know that to be not true. I work for a program where we actually brought students to schools like Spelman and Howard, and they were all low income. I'm talking about hardworking families, okay? Hardworking families. I'm not talking about they just sat at home on welfare. No, because I did some of their financial paperwork and interviewed some of the families. We're talking about a mother who works at a grocery store and a father who has a hot dog truck here in New York City by Central Park. Drop a bomb on that. Trying to send their very smart daughter to a Howard University. Okay? So, and Howard then working with the situation too, because her grades were up to par, because she has the potential and she's smart and her SATs were strong and her essay was excellent and she's volunteered and she just like the perfect candidate. They worked it out. Do you think they were going to give, like, these banks were going to give a cashier at a grocery store and a hot dog man by Central Park loans to cover like full tuition? Do you really think so? Nearly half of students enrolled at Vice President Kamala Harris's alma mater, Howard University, have low-income students. Myth number 9. Many HBCUs have significant endowments due to private philanthropy. Now, I know I have a very smart listening audience, but an endowment would be like a little pot of money, like a little foundation that's just getting money so they can distribute money, an endowment fund, a funds, the funds hitting under the mattress behind that picture in the principal's office right there, like all the millions that they have to have the best institutions and the best faculty teaching them and the best experience. The fact is, HBCUs endowments are typically much lower than those of their non HBCU institutions, aka the Yale universities, the NYU's universities, the UCLA universities. Drop a bomb on that. This is being because white people, because of systemic racism, you know, were educated differently, right? They roll in different circles, and there's a lot of nepotism, and they close the doors on black people. Even coming out of a strong institution with great grades, that don't mean they still want you to, like, you know what I'm saying? So it all trickles down. It absolutely all trickles down. And the last myth from the article, and I encourage everybody to go take a read at the article. It's pretty lengthy, but it's very informational. Myth number 10, HBCUs are not different from other minority serving institutions. I've never heard of that. MSIs, minority serving institution. The fact is, not all minority serving institutions are created equal. HBCUs have a historic designation. When discussing colleges and universities that serve minority students predominantly, it is easy to refer to them as minority serving institutions, MSIs. However, not all MSIs are created equal. MSIs consist of historically black colleges and universities, tribal colleges and universities, Hispanic serving institutions, Asian American, Native American, and Pacific Islander serving institutions, and predominantly black institutions. HBCUs have a historic federal designation as they were established out of segregation at a time when black students were prohibited from accessing education and at white-only institutions. HBCUs have held a special place for over a century and a half of American history as enduring places of opportunity, engagement, and empowerment for black students. As such, they have a unique and historic designation in the Higher Education Act, the HEA of 1965. Drop a bomb on that. Which statutorily, my criminal justice professors will be so proud of me. Let me do that again, Naris Trinity, and I'm going to do it just for you, Naris. Which statutorily defines HBCUs as institutions established before 1964, whose principal mission was and is the education of black students. The HEA acknowledged that HBCUs were founded specifically for black students during an era of segregation and have suffered the negative effects of discrimination, state and federal policies, of discriminatory state and federal policies, hence their federal designation. Tribal colleges and universities also have a similar historic designation. Minority Serving Institutions, or MSIs, is a term used to group all higher education institutions that serve minority students. However, there are distinctions between them. HSIs, PBIs, and AANAPISI, that's the Asian one, by the way, receive their designation based on the percentage of their student population representing that minority group. And as enrollments changes, so can their designation. This qualifies an institution to compete for Title III and Title IV funding under the Higher Education Act. This, ladies and gentlemen, this sounds like so much red tape to me. So much red tape to me. And yeah, I remember when the Asians were arguing affirmative act, and they had that whole thing overturned, and and they can't even get 10% of students of them to enroll. Drop a bomb on that, and I could get real ignorant and indignant and ignorant right now. But my question is, did the tiger mom really want the daughter to go over there to the college, or did the tiger mom want her to run the family business? Drop a bomb on that. And these ain't fighting words, Naris 21. I'm just saying. Did the tiger mom, tiger dad want them to go to college, or did they already have a path laid out in front of the window? 10 minutes, come pick it up. I recently found out that the reason why there's so many Chinese restaurants, especially in black communities, is because up until recently, there was a designation, Naris 21, where Asians can come here if they were opening a business. Okay? If they were opening a business, that they can come here and they could work legally. They can bring their families and stuff like that. And I also found out recently, like this morning, that the banks were not giving loans to black people to open up businesses in white communities, but the banks gave Asians the loans and the business and all that to open businesses in black communities. Okay? Because the man thought that the Asians were going to be able to keep the black, keep them down. Drop a bomb on that. Oh, just can we just throw the whole bitch away? Could we just the whole history is just, could you just. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to go ahead and find Denise A. Smith, Naris 21. She's a contributor for the Century Foundation's website. You can find it on the hashtags HBCU, Historically Black Colleges and Universities, Denise A. Smith. Miss Smith, you did an excellent job with this report. I've enjoyed learning about folks during this Black History Month programming that I have put together for everyone to enjoy. But at the same time, I've been trying to be positive, but we're at day 20, and the shit that I've read that has gone down, and that combined with the views of what's happening with 47 and his cronies at this current state, it just gets me crunk and upset. And I'm just ready. It's just a lot. But we're going to continue to celebrate Black excellence. I will be back tomorrow for day 21. We'll probably do a review, and I will be on camera and just politic and the whole nine. Thank you for being here, Naris 21, as always. And if you are a listener that's coming through, make sure that you hit that like, that subscribe, that notification, so you know when I go live tomorrow. I go on every single night. I don't particularly want to go on every single night. I come home, I cook a meal for my husband, I get in the shower, because I never get in front of this microphone, whether on camera or not, without showering. I think it helps me think better, Naris 21. But I have to do the whole thing, and sometimes I stand in front of this microphone and I say, maybe tonight is the night that I call out. And then I flash back at my cute, young, lushful hair, excellent performer in my teens, later in my college years, and then in my early 20s, performing on stages, and I never called out from a scheduled performance. And I say, no, the show will go on. I can give the people a good 30 minutes. I'm at 29 and 20 seconds. You see that? See what I did there, Naris 21? I could give the people what they need, because I know we need this right now. We definitely need this. With that said, I am at 30 minutes. I want to thank you for coming through. I will see you tomorrow. Miss Coloring View, Miss Viewers of View has entered the room. Miss Views of You. I do not want to put you on the spot, but you could just say yes, a Y for yes, and N for no. Did you go to a HBCU? I can't remember without putting what your schooling is, because she's on replay. Maybe she's not. Let me see, Miss View. Did you attend an HBCU? I know she. She was part of a fraternity. She was a Greek, right? That's what they call it. A Greek. You were a Greek, Miss View. You were the cute Greeks. Let's see. I think she might have replayed from the beginning. So, let's see. I'm just holding to see. Because as I was reading this, I was like, I wonder if she went to HBCU. I'd rather not answer. I'm in a sorority. Okay, got you. Okay, there you go. Drop a bomb on that. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, Miss View. All right, I want to thank you guys for coming through. I will see you tomorrow with profile number 21 and alive. I'll be live on the thing. The mean folks would love to know. Yes, that's what I. That's what I thought. Did not mean to put you on a spot, but I know you was a Greek. So, all right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, by the way, Miss View, I was in your live. I've been on your lives, Miss View. I just been up in the air. I've been up in the. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Miss View. I've been up in the air, but I've been catching your live. Congratulations on finishing that last leaf. I saw that. We only got a few more days, Miss View, and then I can talk about. I've been seeing everything. Bouncer. Time here. I've been seeing everything. It's more the same. It's more the same. It's shocking and it's not shocking. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. He would say that, but it's, and then the weird support that's going on over there. Anyway. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. I have a really early morning starting at 8 a.m. My husband and I have some appointments, some errands. You are going to cut up next month. Absolutely. Absolutely. How does she know? She already know. She already know I will be here for it. She already know. But we have such a big production tomorrow. We have errands to do, and then I have an appointment where I need to I have one of my siblings is getting married, so I'm doing the final walkthrough of the place. I think I told you guys that I was in charge of the flowers and the whole nine. So, but I'll talk about that in a Black History Month video. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for coming through, Miss View. Thank you for coming through, Naris21, my husband, the Incredible Hulk, and everybody else who replays. Thank you for giving me your time. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a good night. Peace.